The Olympic logo is a Freemason and Pharaonic symbol, where the rings symbolize them holding together against us, as in a chain of command, or one for all and all for one. As the Templars said, unus pro omnibus, omnes pro uno, meaning one for all and all for one, showing at the ceiling of the Swiss Templars Parliament, with the Templars flag in a simplified way in the same colours in the middle. Watch the Pharaoh show from Guy, which explains more. G-I-U-R-E-H. And out of the Templars came the Freemasons. The Vesica is a Pharaonic word, meaning to be alone, place, soul. Vesica. We further on find the Vesica and the Gucci logo, showing the Freemason G 2 times, in negative and in positive. What is up is down, and what's down is up. Swiss Coop supermarkets, MasterCard, with exactly the same colours as the Swiss supermarket chain. Audi, the Illuminati car from Ingolstadt in Germany, where Adam Weishaupt came from, and many others. So do know who the gods really are, for whom you're going to run in circles.
Alright guys, welcome back. We got another caller on the line here. Welcome to the show, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, is this me?
Yeah, you're there.
Yeah, thanks Charlie. It's Martin here calling from England. Just got a little bit of information.
Sure. What you got?
Yeah, just in response to the whole Zion thing. The 2012 Olympics, as you're aware, with the whole Zion thing.
Right.
I found out some more information a couple of days ago. Been meaning to share it with you, but I only actually get Tuesdays off work, so I can't call in any other day. Now, the 30th Olympic Games, as you know, which is XXX in Roman numerals,
right,
is actually the opening ceremony to the Olympics is actually being held on the 27th of July, which is also the day of the celebration of Tisha B'Av. Is that how you pronounce it?
Always a Jewish holiday, yeah.
Exactly, yeah, with the commemoration of the destruction of the temples in Jerusalem.
Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is Wednesday, May 16th, 2012, and I'm Darko. My website is ggnonline.com and ddarko2013 and 2012 are my YouTube channels. Check out the headlines and links. They'll be posted in YouTube's video description. And I'm ready to go. So this is going to be mostly about the Olympics and maybe a little surveillance Big Brother state. Okay, so most of us are aware that the Olympics is coming up. Could be a lot of stuff cracking during that period of time. We can see all kinds of crazy stuff, you know, even possible alien invasions or asteroids or some kind of outside threat, you know, or maybe just another old-fashioned terrorist attack. But the people that carry out the terrorist attacks just recently said, what? Well, there's not going to be another 9/11 scale attack. I think even Barack Obama said that to Wolf Blitzer like a year ago. So they don't plan another 9/11 type blood sacrifice. They plan a more smaller scale one, like the patsies. Usually the ones where they catch themselves in some kind of sting operation and then say, see, that's why we got to have all of your rights suspended and have 18-month-olds at the airport getting groped and shutting down airports over phony threats like a disabled elderly man in his wheelchair. But whether there's a real threat or not, our masters are gonna they're gonna prepare us for when as if it's gonna happen. So I'll go through some news you've probably seen already, and then maybe some that you haven't. But this is stuff that's been for me. I've been kind of just putting it off to the side, letting it stack up. Metropolitan Police stockpiling plastic bullets from May 3rd, 2012. Police began stockpiling plastic bullets responsible for fatalities in Northern Ireland after the London riots. It says here that by December 2011, the number had jumped more than 14 times to more than 10,000, a Freedom of Information request shows. It says here that baton rounds have never been used to quell disorder on the mainland of UK, but an ex-Metropolitan Police commander told the BBC the huge rise suggests a change of policy on weapons and an increased willingness to use them. An increased willingness. Wow, dude. So they just come right out and said, get ready, right? And maybe they're learning from their comrades over the pond here in the United States. They don't need any encouragement to be tasing people or using their little toys that they have. Olympics Britain to deploy sonic gun at Olympics. It says high-powered loudspeaker that's going to bark orders basically to capitulate. Resistance is futile. Is going to be used against pirates and protesters. I love how they sum them up. It's kind of like the anarchist and the communist. Yeah, they were anarchist and yeah, you know, the communist, and it's just it's funny how they link these groups together, right? You know, the Knights. We were just talking about the Knights Templar. What happened? Well, they disbanded, and that's what Friday the 13th is about. And what? They had their own fleet of ships, and they then flew a different flag, the pirate flag, the Skull and Bones flag. But yeah, we're going to say, oh, the little old Somali pirates who've been conquered by the British, who've never been conquered before, have to resort to such things such as piracy, because they have no economy, they have no resources, because, well, they've been taken over. But, you know, that's not really the point here. The point here is that what? It says Britain is preparing for the biggest peacetime security operation. Now, this almost makes me wonder. I just thought about it now. I mean, I've thought about it before, but never like this before, is that this whole Olympics being in London is in preparation for the collapse of the euro. You notice how this is happening right on cue, right? So this whole thing has nothing to do with the Olympics, and then preparing for a, quote, biological attack or a EMP or a virus. This is part of the plan. So. And these things, of course, deafen people, right? So they're not non-lethal. And I just found another article will kind of tie into what I'm saying, because I don't mean to go on these little side tracks, basically talking about the pirates and legitimizing what they're doing. But it's a reaction. It's a reaction to the actions that are being taken by the social engineers, the Illuminati, the New World Order, some people call them. And that is what? We covered this in the last video, which is nationalism is dead. Well, at least they're trying to kill it. So I'm all for, like, a stateless society. I prefer, like, people just lived in little communities and they just form whatever. You know, there is no real political law. There may be common law that people can form little tribes or little communes as long as they're not encroaching on the other. But if you're going to have nationalism, right, then have it. But now, see, they're demonizing what they've helped create, which is nationalism, and now they're going to internationalism, and now they're done with those that are proud of their heritage or want to have their sovereignty. So this right here is a big thing in Europe, and this is another reason for why they are preparing for, quote, peacetime security operations. Like in Scandinavia, you know, you have this, which is skinheads are Nazis, basically, in Europe and the U.S. and even Russia, some parts. So apparently there's going to be an electric fence for the Olympics, an 11-mile, 5,000-volt electric fence surrounding the Olympics site, costs around $80 million. So, like, they can't afford for your pensions, or you're going to cut you off for your health care and stuff like that. They're going to be able to fund this militarization of your police. Actually, whatever ones are left, because now they're getting rid of the police, and now the police are protesting, so they've been deemed terrorists. So you can see where all of this is going. So of course all you have to do is buy the ticket and you don't have to jump the fence. Well, I don't even know why you'd want to have to jump a fence to get into that thing. I'd stay the hell away from there, just like Chicago at the NATO summit. But tenants living near the Olympic site facing last-minute evictions, kind of like the NATO summit with Chicago, the red zone, as landlords cash in on the game. So tenants living in the East Line are facing eviction from their homes with a hardly any notice by landlords wanting to cash in Olympics. So basically what this story is saying is that housing and homeless charity shelters have seen numerous cases of families being forced to seek last-minute accommodations after being evicted by their landlords, so that the landlords want to instead use their properties for short-term leases or lets at inflated rental prices during the London Games. And the crazy thing is that they're going to evict these tenants for these Olympic visitors without any guarantees that there will be any. So besides the electric fences and that and kicking people out of these properties, it says here London 2012 missiles may be placed at residential flats. The Defense Ministry is considering placing surface-to-air missiles on residential flats during the Olympics. So it goes on, and when it talks about one of these leaflets, it states that the military will have a major national exercise from the 2nd to 10th of May to test the armed forces' capabilities for providing security at the Olympics. It's added that the government, if it decides to use the missiles during the Games, the soldiers could be operationally deployed for a period up to 2 months this summer. Remember, peaceful operation. And they're going to have SAS squads based in riverside bunkers for the London Olympics as well to combat terrorist threats. Speaking of terrorism, London 2012 terror drill at the discussed tube station. So it says here, stunned passengers staggered from the underground today in an eerie reminder of the false flag bombings of, 7/7 in a security drill from the London 2012 Games to deal with the would-be casualties in the mocked-up terror attack on the transport network. Speaking of terrorists, 18-month-old baby pulled from flight, parents interviewed by TSA. So it says here, parents of an 18-month-old girl say they were humiliated after being pulled off a plane and told their young child had been placed on a no-fly list. Now this is something I'd like to see. The family decided to leave the airport rather than return to the flight. They're lucky they were even able to get out of there, usually, because once you go past the point of no return, bam, you're getting tackled, tased, and thrown in, hog-tied, and thrown in basically in some kind of torture camp, right? So, you know, that's the thing. I always hear about these people that try to leave and then they end up getting arrested. But we know who the real terrorists are. UK terrorist attack in Birmingham the evening of the 6th of May 2012. Unidentified terrorists were observed dumping chemicals from high altitudes over an urban area south of Birmingham. Said the planes were employed are yet to be identified. Thus far, has been no reports of casualties. So we're talking about not having a usual terrorist attack. We're talking about what? A holographic stage alien invasion. Well, we saw the thing with Tupac Shakur, the hologram, Project Bluebeam, right? And that was what? That was setting off enthusiasm for holograms in a way we've never seen before. Well, that was the point, to program, to imprint, have predictive programming going in the minds of the slave. And the goal is to have them in fear so that they can be open to receive this programming, whatever it may be. But they don't want to scare them too much. They got to let them in. Let them know subconsciously what's going to possibly be happening. But the whole thing about this Project Bluebeam or the stage alien invasion of the second coming of Christ is that they're going to use it to unite the planet against a foreign outside threat, possibly aliens. Then the little deity or the Christ-like figure, kind of like Tupac was to certain groups, will what? Will say, oh, this is good. You know, these are our true masters, and this one world government's going to be good. This one world religion. And if you remember me mentioning about programs that they're putting on, like the History Channel and that, about alien viruses, just check this out. Unmanned poison drones are the latest threat to this summer's Olympic Games. So this verifies what I'm saying about fear. In the meeting meant to calm residents' fear about hosting missiles on the rooftops during the Olympic Games, the lieutenant of the police station told it's possible that drones laden with biological weapons may be used in an attack during the upcoming game. And the climate in Northwest Europe is ripe for the Asian mosquito to spread. So the CDC is warning U.S. travelers to the Olympic Games. They may bring home measles to get their shots, so even the athletes of the Olympics are being told to get their shot, while the government's purchased huge amounts of vaccines to counter a possibility of an anthrax attack. And again, how timely. The bird flu formula papers have been published. And even though most people can't even afford to go, the minister says there's no specific terror threat. Thank you.